let's look at a couple examples on how to get rid of any negative exponents that we have before we simplify these expressions. And so the rule that I like to use is pretty simple. I like to do something called change the sign and cross the line. And what I mean by change the sign, we're going to change any negative exponents to positive, and then we're just simply going to take that term and we're going to have it jump to the other side. So here's how we would do this here. The first thing you're going to do is divide your numbers first. 10 divided by 5. If you can't do 10 divided by 5, use your calculator. That would be 2 over 1. So in this case, we're just going to say 2. But then look at m to the negative 5. So the rule is to change the sign and cross the line. So we're going to change the sign from negative 5 to positive 5, and then we're going to cross the line. What I mean by the line, we're going to cross the fraction line. So actually that m to the 5th is actually going to go to the bottom. So a negative m to the negative 5 up top is the same as saying m to the positive 5 on bottom. But then we have one more. We have m to the negative 2 on bottom. So we have to do change the sign and cross the line with that guy. So we're going to make it positive 2. But m to the negative 2 on bottom is actually m to the positive 2 up top. Now we can take this one more step, and we need to actually simplify this. And we've already simplified the numbers, so let's simplify our letters here. If I have 2 m's up top and I have a total of 5 m's on bottom, we can start canceling out sets. Here's a set of m's I can cancel, and here's a set of m's I can cancel. And if you look now, I have 3 of them that are still on the bottom. So my 2 remains up top, and then I have 3 m's on the bottom. And this would be my answer. All right, let's take a look at another one here. Let's get a little more, so to speak, a little more complicated. Let's look at number 7. So on number 7, we're going to draw our fraction bar. Start with your number, negative 6 divided by negative 15. So if you can't do negative 6 divided by negative 15, use your calculator, and then you might have to convert that back to a fraction, and you should get 2 over 5. So our rule is change the sign and cross the line. So if you look right here, this negative 5 is up top. That means it needs to be positive 5 on bottom. So I'm going to make it positive 5 on bottom. But notice that there is another P that's on the bottom. So I need to make sure I put that letter P next to it. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little 1 there. Now let's do the Q to the negative 2. We need to change the sign and cross the line. So we're going to change it to positive, cross the line, which means it's going to jump to the bottom. But notice I have another Q down here. Now to simplify this, you will notice right here we are multiplying these guys. We need to go back to our laws of exponents for when we are multiplying. So when we multiply exponents, we're really adding those guys. Put my 2 up top, put my 5 on bottom, and then look right here, p to the 5th times p to the 1st, that is p to the 6th. One more time, q to the 2nd times q to the 1st, that's q to the 3rd. And this would actually be my answer. Notice I don't have anything up top to simplify or reduce this fraction. So there we go. All right, let's look at one more. Let's go down to 12. Let's look at 12 here. Notice I don't have any coefficients. If you wanted to say you have a 1 and a 1, you could, but there's no need for that. So let's start doing our change the sign and cross the line. So we'll start with our x to the negative 1. It's going to become x to the positive 1. And then I have x to the 3rd on bottom, so we're going to make that x to the 3rd. Y to the negative 2 is up top. And then I'm going to change that to positive 2 on bottom, but you have to put that with this y to the 2. Z to the negative 3 is up top, so it's positive on bottom. Put that with the z. Put everything over 1, and then you have to go back and use your multiplication laws here. X to the 1st times x to the 3rd. That would be x to the 4th. Y to the 2nd times y to the 2nd is y to the 4th. Z to the 3rd times z to the 1st is z to the 4th. And there's your answer.